Tonight on News 5 Live, well-known street figure Brandon Baptist loses his life at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex, leaving Belize City Police on high alert for possible reprisals in Lake Independence. In another heartbreaking incident, a 5-year-old student from Stella Maris drowns near the hangar, raising questions about why he was out of school. Meanwhile, Seferino Pop is fatally shot in Cotton Tree Village. Adding to the turmoil, firefighters are up in arms over poor working conditions and low wages. Stay tuned for these stories and more coming up in the next 60 seconds.
Cooking just got easier with Kent Oils, your go-to choice for every dish. Available in 3 sizes and 3 great options: vegetable, corn, or canola oil. Perfect for frying, baking, sauteing, or grilling. Kent Oils deliver the quality you trust with a clean, natural flavor for all your cooking needs. Conveniently available at stores near you. Exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, February 3rd. I am Sabrina Daly. 39-year-old Brandon Baptist, a man who had turned his life around and dedicated himself to God, was tragically shot dead on Friday night. The incident occurred just after 9 p.m. at the Marion Jones Stadium during a football match. As chaos erupted and spectators dashed for cover, News 5 captured the scene as police moved in to control the situation. The shooter, or shooters, unleashed a volley of bullets, fatally wounding Baptist. He fell to the ground beneath the bleachers, where his loved ones gathered in shock and disbelief around his lifeless body. 3 others were also shot but survived. News 5's Marion Alley has the report.
They got another game for a problem because they shoot up out of all my son then too. You understand? Like they call like they now macho man like they a God who is there to take life.
A grieving mother's sorrow echoes through the community. Denise Flowers, heartbroken over the murder of her son Brandon Baptist, shared that he had made peace with those she believed are behind his tragic death.
And know what hurt me, my son make the peace with the same holiday, and the same holiday still kill my picnic.
Friday night, police had received information of shots fired at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex. Based on the information received, the police responded, and upon arrival, they encountered the lifeless body of a male person identified as Brandon Baptist.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told reporters today that Baptist went to the game after he learned of a dispute among others.
The initial information the police had received is that Baptist was not at the game earlier. At the inception, was called to the field or to the stadium following some altercation someone may have had with members of the PIV gang. And Upon arrival, he was there hanging out with other members of the BLC. They were at the lower end of the bleacher, and the PIV were at the upper end, in the same line of bleachers. Brandon got up and he went to where the PIV group were, and some altercation happened. During the altercation, some are alleging that Brandon may have taken out a gun, and when he did that, the others from PIV shot him. After having shot him, he continued to struggle with them, and he was eventually thrown over the railing of the bleachers, where his body was later found.
In the aftermath of the tragic killing, Williams acted swiftly on Saturday, implementing strategies to prevent any retaliatory violence. He mentioned that mediations have been paused to let tensions cool down and allow the community to regain some sense of calm.
I went to Belize City on Saturday. Myself and Mr. Greenwich, we met with the senior command in Eastern Division, Mr. Romero and his team, strategizing to ensure that we put things in place to avert any possible retaliation. And so you'll see that there is increased police operations in the St. Martin's, the Forest area. And that operation is going to continue for a very lengthy period of time, because we want to make sure that we have things in place to prevent retaliation, even up to the funeral and after the funeral. I have also advised the mediation team, Brother Nuri and Brother Foti, that we're not going to engage into no mediation at this time, because we don't want to bring the group together. Tensions are extremely high, and that might result in further escalation of issues. So we will put aside mediation for now and allow the police to work.
Brandon Baptist's family is clear on one thing: they don't want revenge. His mother shared their stance, but she couldn't hide her anger towards those responsible for taking his life.
My son was turned to God, and I hate to see that people out there kill my son. That devil, that evil people, not have God in. But one thing that I thank God for my son was my son me turn to God. We never vengeance nothing. We left vengeance to God, right? Because in this life, everybody have their day. If we not call you for turn rock stone, all we call you for dead. And whosoever kill my son, I wish the best for them. And I left them to God, because there's a God.
The other victims, 37-year-old John Greenwich, 26-year-old Herson Mena, and 21-year-old Cameron Williams, were quickly rushed to the KHMH for medical care. Greenwich and Mena are still in the hospital, while Williams was treated and has since been released. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
The shocking murder of 39-year-old Brandon Baptist during a football match at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex has sent shockwaves through the sports community. News 5 was on the scene covering the game for our weekly Sports Monday segment and captured first-hand video footage as the tragic incident unfolded. This has raised several pressing questions. Was there adequate police presence at the match? How did the shooter manage to enter the stadium with a firearm? News 5's Paul Lopez has the details.
The Marion Jones Sporting Complex saw a massive turnout on Friday night for the Belize District Football Association's semi-finals matches. The night took a tragic turn during the second and final game between Survivors Football Club and Reggae Boys Football Club. 36 minutes into the match, a Survivors player was fouled inside the penalty box, setting the stage for a crucial penalty shot. The tension was palpable as the players prepared for the decisive moment. Just as the goalkeeper and the kicker were getting ready, gunshots suddenly rang out, grabbing the attention of everyone on the field. The There was a moment of stunned silence before a second round of shots sent the athletes scrambling for cover. In the chaos, a woman was seen sprinting across the field to grab her child who was playing near the outdoor gym. The shots had come from the direction of a group of spectators near the entrance, causing panic and confusion among the crowd. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams confirmed that there was a breakdown of communication between law enforcement officers.
Certainly there is some breakdown in terms of the police officers working at such a game. I can say to you that I was not aware of that game being played. And I also checked with Mr. Romero, and he too said that he was not aware of the game.
As the shots rang out, there was a stampede in the stands as fans ran for cover. In the aftermath, one woman was seen on the ground overtaken by grief and in disbelief. A black car, its passenger door flung open, sped out of the parking lot with shooting victims inside, racing towards a nearby Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital. Blood stained the ramp leading up to the stands where the victims were shot, a grim reminder of the night's violence.
We are seeing that there is a trend where people are putting together sporting activities, and I would say in good faith, to be able to bring rivaling groups together as a way of doing intervention through sports. But instead of applying to the Commissioner of Police for security, they find their own police officers and they get those police officers to provide security for them. And many a times the level of security that they are getting for these events is not adequate.
Spectators shaken and in shock gathered on the football field. Tragically, well-known street figure Brandon Baptist, 39, was pronounced dead in the aftermath.
There is no way on earth would we have allowed 3 police officers to work a game of such magnitude, where they're lone gang members. So the fact that there is this shortcut needs to be eliminated, and I have said to commanders that if it is that they encounter any such event and there is inadequate security there, or they have not applied to the commander on the grounds or to the Commissioner of Police, that they must bring the event to a stop until they can get adequate police to work these events.
The incident prompted a statement by the president of the Football Federation of Belize, Sir Chuk.
A placement for unity was struck with fear and grief. We extend our deepest condolences to the victims, their families, and all affected by this meaningless act of savagery. Football is meant to inspire, build character, and unite, not to be a place of sorrow.
The Belize District First Division tournament draws teams from all over the district, but most are from Belize City, a municipality gripped by gun violence. Brandon Baptist was likely at the game on Friday to support his brothers Akeem, Raheem, and Hubert Baptist, who all play for the Lake Independence Football Club. But where was the police presence? A police mobile arrived just 5 minutes after the shooting, and one person was seen being handcuffed and placed in the back of the vehicle. News 5 has learned that only 4 police officers were assigned to the event due to a lack of sponsorship for the tournament.
This year, the FFB is expanding initiatives in new programs such as Goals Before Guns and Not Impossible Because She Is Possible. These programs will reach over 3,000 at-risk youths. But programs alone are not enough. With the combined efforts of parents, mentors, coaches, and community leaders, we can teach our children that violence is never the answer and that their lives are important.
A Premier League match scheduled for Sunday at the Mangrove Jones Sporting Complex had been postponed.
I had advised the president of FFB for us to postpone yesterday's game to give us some time to be able to deal with what took place on Friday. Again, it's not because we don't think that we could have handled it, but most of our officers are engaged in either the investigation of the Friday night incident or doing operations in the Martins area and other areas to avert any retaliation.
Interestingly, the stadium was bustling again on Saturday morning, less than 12 hours after the tragic incident, for high school and college sports. This time, police officers were out in full force, conducting thorough searches on students at the entrance. The bloodstains from the previous night's murder still mark the footpath, a stark reminder for the young athletes of the violence that had occurred. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
As Brandon Baptist's mom shared, her son had made peace with his killers and dedicated his life to God. But who was Brandon Baptist? In his earlier years, he was no stranger to the law and the courts. Back in November 2012, he was charged alongside Tyrone Main and the now deceased Ora Leslie for the murder of James Norales. In 2016, he faced charges for the murder of Stand Creek resident Mariano Castillo, but was later acquitted. Then in August 2019, he was charged with 18 others for the home invasion of Sarkis Abunera in Boom. Despite his troubled past, Baptist had been trying to turn his life around in recent years, as his mother mentioned.
To be honest, I was on the street for quite some while. I get caught up in a jail a lot of time. I was with the police. I was the pan news. Everybody know me, Brandon Baptist, right?
Brandon Baptist was a man almost everyone knew, not just for his past run-ins with the law, but also for his positive contributions to the community after turning his life around. He became an integral part of the Leadership Intervention Unit, helping to make significant strides in the community. In an interview with us last August, focused on gang life, Baptist candidly shared that while temptations were real, his efforts to change were genuine and heartfelt.
Every time I try to do something positive, I fall back, but I still fight it, I still do it, you understand me? So I decided to go together in my bedroom and say I could try to do something positive about back on Martins with the youth and check, because we don't want the youth they start stray, make them try to get a lead trade or something, you know, because you know like a lot of youth, they know they go to school, a lot of youth where they try out there and not go, and then they end up in a gang world or that violent world.
When I first started, it was 6 months in that I realized that Brandon was 38, 39. I didn't even know he was that age. I thought he was younger. So he was always full of life, always willing to talk, always. Even when he misstepped and we have to suspend or we have to give an extended suspension or fire some people from the team that he supervised, always willing to compromise and always comes with solutions. Brandon, I considered him to be not only an employee of the socioeconomic programs that LIU has, I considered him to be a friend.
Dominique Norales is the director of the Leadership Intervention Unit, an organization through which he had endeavored to make a positive difference in the lives of the youths with whom he interacted. She spoke with him a few days before he was killed.
I saw Brandon last week Sunday as I was leaving from my mom's and grandmother's house, and I said, "Why you dress up? Why?" He said, I said, "Where you come from?" He said, "I come from church." I said, "Okay, well, we'll try to arrange to go together sometime." And that was the last time I saw him, and the last time my team spoke to him was the Friday evening at around 5. It's been really difficult to navigate for more reasons than one.
Baptist opened up about the struggles he faced trying to stay on the right path. Norales pointed out that this is a common reality for men like Baptist who are always striving to turn their lives around. She emphasized that sometimes simply reaching out can be the difference between making a mistake and doing something good.
We cannot measure what being in contact with these persons does for peace in the streets. It's a qualitative thing, it's a trust thing. It's not something you can write on paper. And I've been trying to, with my academic mind, trying to figure out how we qualitatively measure what a phone call to someone means. What someone coming to the office to just blow off steam means. What picking someone up from a situation where they probably shouldn't be in means. Like, you cannot write that down on paper. That is not a statistic you can put on paper.
When we spoke with Baptiste, he was fully immersed in a summer program teaching kids the basics of electrical work. He shared that he hoped he had become the role model they needed.
You lead by example. If the kids they see you, they will tell you do a lot of craziness. The kids they will do the same thing. Understand me? But until you do positive, the kids they will do positive too. Understand me? Because the kids they watch their parents do. Because it start for your home and everything start for your home. So by doing this positive, understand me? They say Brandon Baptiste to teach kids electricals and stuff like that. All the kids they want to do that. Everybody around Mr. Brandon, I want to learn electrical, so they are come. Understand me? So that show them the way. Understand me? If you do positive then.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Compal Williams has often criticized how his officers handle special duties. It's well known that officers take on extra assignments to earn some extra cash. However, the commissioner insists that they shouldn't be sneaking around behind their superiors' backs to do so.
The officers who would have gotten the call to work the event are to have said to the organizers, I cannot work this event without you seeking permission first from the commissioner or the local commander, because you don't have to come to me. A game of such nature that is within Eastern Division, the organizers could have gone to Mr. Romero and say to him, we're having this basketball game at so-and-so place. We're applying for security to work the event. And Mr. Romero would be in a position to approve and would tell them, your request is approved, and this is the amount of police that you will be required to pay for this event. So what happens is that, because certainly his response would be not less than 10 police. They don't want to pay for 10 police, so they would go behind him and go to the officers on the lower level officers to get them to work for them, and then they just get 3.
Was Mr. Gamboa the contracting officer? Since I see SPU are there.
Mr. Gamboa is saying no, that on that particular night he was not notified, but he also admitted that on 2 other occasions he was contacted and he had worked there. And I had said to Mr. Gamboa that as a senior officer, he too would have had an obligation to inform either myself or Mr. Romero, or refer the people them to contact myself or Mr. Romero for us to decide how much police officers will have to work the event.
Did they do any search at all of people coming into the event?
I had asked that question, and they are saying yes, they did. I can't say that they are lying, because you and I would know that the integrity of the surroundings of the Marion Jones Stadium is extremely weak, in a sense that people can throw things over the fence and then just coming through the ordinary way without anything on them, and when they get into the compound they can go and get what they may have thrown over the fence. So, but they're saying no. But even in the absence of that, to have known that you have PIV and BLC gang on that bleacher, not too far from each other, police officers ought to have been up there to make sure that there is no clash between them. And that did not occur.
Coming up, man murdered while relaxing in hammock with wife. Details when we return.
In 2023, we continue to deliver on the promises of Plan Belize, proving that hard work and dedication are the pillars of a brighter, safer future for all Belizeans. With the launch of the Prison Information Management System, we've revolutionized how justice is delivered. For the first time, Belize's prison system has transitioned from outdated paper records to real-time digital monitoring, ensuring no one is lost in the system. At the National Forensic Science Service, new state-of-the-art facilities for histopathology and toxicology are transforming forensic investigations. Thanks to our collaboration with the European Union's I-Crime project, Belize now has cutting-edge tools to combat transnational crime and support justice at home. From advanced DNA analysis to combating gender violence, these enhancements expand Belize's capacity to service justice with precision and integrity. Citizen security remains a cornerstone of our mission. Through the amendment of the Firearms Act and new initiatives, we've strengthened laws and improved collaboration across agencies to protect Belizeans everywhere. From modernizing justice systems to safeguarding our communities, Plan Belize continues to move forward. We're building a nation that inspires pride, fosters trust, and leaves no one behind. A safer Belize begins with us. Let's keep building together.
Energy powers our lives, and now we're powering a sustainable future together. This January 27th and February 3rd at 7:30 p.m., tune into the Energy Exchange Show, your guide to understanding Belize's journey towards sustainable energy. From solar power to electric mobility, learn how we're creating real solutions for everyday Belizeans. With topics like e-mobility and licensing regime, this show is designed to answer your questions about Belize's energy transition. Join us to see how we can all play a role in building a brighter, cleaner Belize.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Police are currently investigating a tragic murder that took place on Friday evening in Cotton Tree Village. 30-year-old Seferino Mas Pop and his wife Amalia were peacefully relaxing in their hammock on the front veranda when a male voice called out to Pop. Moments later, the man fired several shots, fatally wounding Pop. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the full report.
On Friday night, 30-year-old Seferino Mas Pop was unwinding with his wife, relaxing in a hammock on their front veranda in Cotton Tree Village, when tragedy struck. It had only been about half an hour since Pop had come home from a long day of work, when someone called out Lico, a childhood nickname. Moments later, gunshots rang out, fatally wounding Pop. His brother, Alfonso Pop, was among the last to see him alive.
My little brother just made come work with me. He just reach about 20 minutes after we reach work. I've been looking for a bit in the shower. I just hear some shot bust outside, and then I come out outside. I look in, I know with somebody. I think the police made they're wrong because police they're wrong every minute. I just come out outside. I look in wrong. I see some wife made a ball. I say, your brother and kill your brother. But we take like surprise because one little boy was not getting a problem. Always I say to everybody like, always when somebody don't date then call a good person a bad person. But the whole bit is about this little young boy, why is then killed? Because I know I have Arab brothers when they don't drunk then look with problem and so, but he even drunk he not get no problem with nobody.
As the shots rang out, Cho dashed into the house, miraculously escaping unharmed. Despite this, Cho and the rest of the family are deeply shaken by the targeted attack. Pop mentioned that if the shooter hadn't called his brother by name, he would have thought it was a case of mistaken identity.
Then call for his name before they do that. So you can't say it, then can't do it by mistake or the man, then can't deal the wrong person or, you know, I can't say like, you know, if they don't call for his name, when me I say maybe they can look for other person, then kill by wrong person, but then call his name before they come to his house.
According to ACP Gilberto Romero, police are yet to determine a motive, but have 2 suspects in custody.
Around 7 p.m., police responded to a shooting incident at Cotton Tree Village. Upon their arrival, they saw the lifeless body of Seferino Pop. Information that he was on the veranda of his house when someone called his name. He got up, and that is when several shots were heard, causing his fatal injuries. In regards to this investigation, we have 2 persons in custody, and the investigation continues.
At the time of the attack, police were out on their nightly patrols in the area, which unfortunately had become a hotspot for violent crimes in recent years.
Operations were being conducted, house searches and different policing operations in that area, but by the time they responded, the suspects had already left.
The loss of his brother is a devastating blow for Alfonso, who had been supporting Seferino in building a life with his family. That day, Alfonso had invited Seferino to work with him and share a meal, not knowing it would be their last lunch together.
My little brother just, like I'm saying, like I know he just work every day, 7 to 5. Just come home, just the weekend drink while he take drinking and so, but not all the weekend too, but they drink. But like I'm saying, he no offend nobody. Like everybody say, like how he used to hang around the village, around Belmopan and so, then say why they kill a young boy. But he the person why not get nobody.
Romero explained that police employ a variety of tactics to reduce crime in the area, driven by different motivating factors.
We have different. One is drug activity, and other rivalries between persons in that area. So there is a team that is in that area to try to prevent these shootings.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
In another incident, 22-year-old Devon Chable lost his life at the hands of people he knew. The tragedy unfolded in the Altamira area of Corozal town, where 3 individuals in a pickup truck reportedly chased Chable as he desperately tried to escape on his bicycle. The pursuit ended near Neba's store, where the driver allegedly ran him over. Despite being rushed to the Corozal Community Hospital, Chable unfortunately died on the way. Prompt police action led to the arrest of 2 suspects, while the third is believed to be hiding in San Pedro. An investigation is underway after the tragic drowning of 5-year-old Gabriel Pablo Orellano, a student at Stella Maris School. Earlier today, Gabriel left school and somehow ended up at the hangar near the Belize City Municipal Airstrip. Sadly, he entered the water and didn't resurface until his body was washed ashore later. In response to this tragedy, Stella Maris School canceled classes for the rest of the day. This afternoon, the Ministry of Education issued a statement expressing their deep sorrow over the loss. They emphasized their commitment to supporting Gabriel's family during this difficult time and urged the community to keep the family and the Stella Maris School in their thoughts and prayers. We'll have more information in our subsequent newscast. Let's revisit our top story. The tragic death of Brandon Baptist on Friday night has once again put the spotlight on the Leadership Intervention Unit, LIU. The LIU has been doing crucial work with at-risk youth throughout Belize City, especially in Lake Independence. Earlier today, we had a chance to chat with Dominique Norales, the director of the LIU, about their approach to helping the youth in Lake I.
Our strategy, particularly in that area, is to remain in contact with the persons who are perceived and who have been labeled as gang members and gang affiliates. And so the employment program that we run in that area is of particular interest. But one of the things that I ensured that we did when I came on board some year ago is ensure that we roll out social programs as well, or direct our clients to social programs, because we can't do all of that.
If you are to look at that particular initiative, how do you gauge or measure the efficacy of it? While there's the financial component where you're paying for these young men and perhaps women to be meaningfully engaged, how do you look at the overall effectiveness of it?
I think for us, many a times people come to us. In fact, we just finished our data collection process with our new cohort. This is the 4th cohort that we have. And many of our clients have dropped out of school in high school. Some of them have not even been to high school. They stopped at standard 6. And there's a cultural confidence thing as well, because people think they're not good enough to re-enter into the formal education system, or even good enough to apply for a job that I'm pretty sure they can learn on the job. And so we're trying to do a better job at monitoring and evaluating our people after they leave the program.
Norales explained that working with inner city youth involved in gang activity isn't straightforward. It takes a lot of negotiation and compromise to make progress.
In any issue that you have with another individual, there has to be some coming to the table, or there will be no understanding of a path being charted forward to relieve yourselves of whatever personal issues we may have, but also what can now be called generational trauma that these groups have faced. These people walk by, live by, went to school to up until whatever point they went to school with persons who might have hurt members of their family, right? And they have done the same. There has to be some compromise and some voluntary coming to the table. It cannot be solved without coming to the table. It's just the fact. And it cannot be solved without the social protection system going to these persons, because they will not. There's a distrust of the system in some ways, which is in many ways justifiable. And so there has to be a going to individuals. People look at it as us coddling criminals, as they have called them. But these are persons who deserve opportunity as well. And they deserve to be seen. They deserve to be given an opportunity. And when that opportunity presents themselves, they have to have the tools to be able to take advantage of it.
After the break, PSU president says firefighters want better pay and resources. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
confidence. Design Depot brings you an attractive selection of GE appliances, including microwaves, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, countertop appliances, and more. We understand the importance of appliances that not only endure, but also excel in performance. As your trusted GE USA authorized dealer, we stand for reliability and performance, ensuring that you can power on with confidence. Visit us today and power on with efficient, reliable, and energy-saving solutions with GE appliances from Design Depot.
Design Depot, all in one place.
At Belize Signs, we turn your ideas into reality. Whether it's billboards that command attention, banners that set the stage, or car decals that make a statement, we've got you covered. From lighted signs that shine in the darkest nights to magnetic signs that are easily interchangeable, we offer a wide range of options like billboards, banners, vehicle decals, lighted signs, magnetic signs, acrylic signs, metal signs, PVC signs, aluminum signs, vehicle wraps, vinyl prints, 3D lettering, awnings, wall murals, and a whole lot more. We're not just sign makers, we're brand enablers. Visit us today.
Digi is bringing the power of connectivity to every corner of Belize with our Digi on-the-go mobile store.
Ma, Digi dia.
Digi dia. Don't say. Sign up for the fastest, most reliable home fiber service, purchase the latest device, or explore our wide range of services. This one-of-a-kind mobile store has it all. Our dedicated team brings the same high-quality in-store experience to you, ensuring you stay connected with friends, family, and the world.
You guys bringing the mobile here, it's really helpful, saving a lot of money for people going from the town, especially like in Punta Gorda, which is 25 miles away from here, which will cost a couple dollars for them to reach there. So having these caravan here, it's a lot easier, it's a lot cheaper, and you know, people are taking advantage. As you can see, we have a lot of people coming out today to purchase some of these devices, top-ups and even postpaid that they're eager to have, no?
Digi is connecting Belize one community at a time. Look out for the Digi on-the-go mobile store with exclusive deals and offers in a community near you. Follow us on our Digi Facebook page to see where we will be next.
Digi, our national telecom.
The streetlight implementation plan is to replace the high-pressured sodium lights, better known as HPS lights. These HPS lights will be replaced by the LED lights. Therefore, LED street lights advanced optics can fine-tune the distribution of lights, ensuring better coverage of the roads, roundabouts, parks, businesses, public area, homes, etc. The feedback have been great. We get positive feedback from the community when it comes to the improved brightness and light quality which LED provides by means of visibility and safety, especially at night.
Before the LED lights was installed, it was kind of dark, you know. Most of the time, they have to look and check. But with the LED lights now, you can see from far.
I like it because it's a nice bright light, because the customer feel much safer to come to the shop.
From the LED lights now that BL had put, it improved a lot. Well, the difference is that they look way far clearer.
Well, I must say thanks again to BL on this one, because actually our nice improvement also. It bring up the mahogany, because the mahogany is one of the active street in a Belize city, and also I live back at Gongolong, and when I come off work, it's just a bloom. Nice for me now. When I go home at night, I can see clearly.
The main objective this year is basically to change out 16,000 HPS lights. So the street light replacement will occur at every respective zone. For example, Central, Belize District, North, Orinjoa, Corozal, West, Cayo District, South, Tancreek District, and Toledo District. We have started some years back with the street light replacement project, and the 16,000 will account for the 100% that we need to complete on the distribution system.
Bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
On Friday, Belize City firefighters launched a go-slow protest over changes to their work schedule. which they say impacts their salaries. They're also unhappy with their working conditions and the limited resources they must work with. This protest comes on the heels of recent corruption allegations involving some top officials. Today, some firefighters met with Dean Flowers, president of the Public Service Union. Afterward, Flowers had a meeting with Kennedy Carrillo, the CEO in the Ministry of Disaster Risk Management, and other ministry representatives. Flowers shared the details of their discussions with us.
They're primarily administrative matters. I think there is a great need for the ministry to really examine the quality of leadership that currently exists within the fire department. I think that a lot of the problems that the firefighters ventilated this morning stems from poor leadership, poor administrative leadership. To get into a few of the matters that were discussed, I know one of the pressing matters that was aired on the news last week was the issue of the cutting of overtime. And I want to state that whilst, yes, they were disgruntled and are disgruntled with the manner in which the new policy was effected, I want to state that it is not as simple as they want to be paid overtime. The issue here is that these officers are severely underpaid and underappreciated. And so the matter of compensation for the work that they're doing, the additional services that they're providing in terms of the ambulance services, there were arrangements, internal arrangements made in terms of how that additional work would be compensated. And so this new policy would have affected that arrangement, and thus they felt that they would have been not properly compensated for the work that they do. But in addition to that, what was highlighted today is that there are several allowances that several firefighters are being denied. We don't know why. There are officers who are receiving a danger allowance, some are receiving a hazardous allowance, others are receiving no allowance. We went through the compendium today and we identified at least 5 allowances that we believe are due to firefighters. And so that is one of the matters that we will be addressing with the Ministry of Public Service as well as this ministry here.
Minister of Disaster Risk Management Andrea Perez told News 5 that the firefighters' work schedules were adjusted to regular hours because the budget is nearly exhausted as the fiscal year ends. He assured that anyone working overtime will still get paid. Perez also addressed the corruption allegations at the top of the fire department, promising an investigation but emphasizing that solid evidence is needed to back up those claims.
As a fiscally prudent government, we have to take heed that we're short of funds and we're getting to the end of the fiscal year. You know, sometimes we have to do a little bit of belt tightening. And of course, this is where some of the firefighters are saying, well, listen, we're not getting any overtime or we're not giving the opportunity. Many other factors. But the first thing is I also want to share is that the intake of 24 new firefighters, which all of them have either been volunteers or temporary. Now they are permanent. Now they're fully on board. Also is making the provision for another 56 firefighters. That's a new intake. So as we prepare for the following year, we have to make conditions for this to prepare. And that means that everybody will become more efficient. And certainly we look forward that the end game is to cut that overtime, making sure everybody gets their hours done. And of course, whenever overtime is needed, called for, it will be included. The work that the running of the fire department entails is that we have to have an administrative assistant. That is what we have provided previously, an FO that is assisting. And in there, we've seen that there's the increments and salary promotions, salary increases that we need to be looked and has been sitting on a desk whereby it's being slow to come. So we are saying that in the last 10 months, we have been seeing that more and more being addressed. In terms of the word corruption, there's always allegations of that, but it would need to be corroborated. But what we're saying at that meeting, it was listened, we discussed. I said, well, if you bring forth the evidence of there is rampant corruption, then of course, starting me as the minister of this ministry will not tolerate any kind of things if there is occurring. We acknowledge it, that certainly if there is that is what they're saying, we will do the investigation, but you need to bring proof because it's only an allegation.
Last year, Inspector Christopher Martinez admitted to wounding a businessman with a padlock while the man was in police custody. After a long legal battle, Martinez received a 5-month sentence, which the High Court upheld. Once he was released, Martinez returned to his role as a senior inspector. During a morning talk show, Channel 7 News Director Jules Vasquez suggested that Williams didn't fire Martinez because they're cousins. Williams quickly shot down this claim, clarifying that he doesn't have the power to dismiss senior officers.
I understand your relative, Inspector Martinez, is back on active duty.
And I hear you spewing nonsense this morning.
Please.
The commissioner is not the one who dismissed senior officers.
Okay.
That is done by the
Security
Services Commission.
Fair.
So please stop spew nonsense and feed the Belizean people with spoiled food.
Sir, so Inspector Martinez is back. You have no power to dismiss him, to demote him. Will you? But you did recommend him for a promotion.
Where you get that from again? When you brought up that spoiled food that you were fed with, that caused your bowel to move in certain places. I had said to you then that because he was not yet convicted, every senior officer who met the criteria to go before the board and applied were allowed to go before the promotion board. I had also in a subsequent interview told you that he had failed the board. So how you reach at me recommending him for promotion?
Earlier this month, 24-year-old Emil Rivers was shot in the abdomen by a police officer in Independence Village. The incident began when Rivers, allegedly intoxicated and carrying a large knife, assaulted Inspector Michael Rosado. Rivers was taken into custody but managed to escape. During a standoff with 2 officers, Rivers brandished a machete. Despite attempts to de-escalate the situation, Officer Sheldon Arzu shot Rivers twice. Rivers was then taken to the Southern Regional Hospital for treatment. The Professional Standards Branch has launched an investigation into the incident, and police provided an update earlier today.
We have confirmed that on Friday, the 24th January, Mr. Rivers was detained in respect to an aggravated assault against a senior officer. He was in custody after 2:55 p.m. Friday the 24th, and on Saturday the 25th, sometime after 6:30 a.m., he was escorted to the bathroom to take a shower, during which he escaped from the police station. The police went in pursuit, and they encountered Mr. Rivers, who had armed himself with a machete. Like I said, the matter is under investigation, and as soon as we conclude our investigation, that file will be sent to the DPP for the DPP to make a decision on it. Our investigation revealed so far that he was shot in the midsection. I can say that there's no indication that the officer who fired the shots intended to hit him in the midsection. From all indication, the officer who fired the shot intended to use the force necessary to subdue Mr. Rivers by targeting his leg.
The statement of the officer, he said in his statement that he had gone to shoot the man in the foot, but he turned at the same time, and he ended up being caught in the abdomen. That's what the officer said in his statement.
During the confrontation that led to Officer Sheldon Arzu shooting escaped detainee Emil Rivers, police tried several times to de-escalate the situation without using lethal force. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams admitted that the officers' methods were ineffective, noting that using profanity doesn't help. He also pointed out that PC Arzu had been discharged from the Belize Police Department after a deadly shooting in 2003 and served 13 years in prison before being reinstated. This incident highlights the urgent need for more non-lethal police equipment. Williams believes that the lack of proper tools has only made the situation worse.
It is our drawn conclusion that there must be more training done with police officers and the Ministry of Health, and in particular the mental health institution within Belize, to sensitize police officers in terms of how to address issues like these. We also agreed that we need to look at the weaponry that police officers use in terms of escalating force. When we look at the whole issue of conflicts, we look at two different stages. We have the stages of de-escalation, where you try to de-escalate a tension that exists, and when that does not work, then you look at the escalation of force that the security force is going to use. In this particular instance, certainly de-escalation of the tension was not working, and so the officers decided that they're going to escalate the force that they used. But the thing is that they went from words to lethal force, which should not be. You have to have something in between. And so we are looking to see now what we can do to perhaps inject things like pepper spray and tasers. And my fear with pepper spray, as you would know, that we used to issue officers with pepper spray. But my thing with it is that when the officers had it, there was an abuse of it. They use it in instances where they don't need to use it. And then we get a number of complaints. So I banned the pepper spray, right? We might need to see how we can reintroduce pepper spray with specific instructions, and then we're going to see if we can introduce tasers. I also said to commanders this morning to make sure that they check their armory, that they do have the shotgun that we had issued to them before, and if they don't have the bean bags, let us know and we'll provide them with bean bags.
When we return, clearing mangroves for public good.
En Belize valoramos a nuestras familias, valoramos a nuestras comunidades, valoramos a nuestros vecinos. El 90% de los beliceños cree que es hora de tener leyes que nos protejan a todos y reflejen lo mejor de nuestra sociedad. El 94% de los beliceños está de acuerdo en que los espacios públicos en Belice deben ser más accesibles para las personas con discapacidad. En Belice creemos en el trato justo y el apoyo mutuo. Sabemos que nuestro hermoso país está en su mejor momento cuando nos unimos por el bien común. 2 de cada 3 beliceños apoyan una nueva ley para prevenir la discriminación en el empleo y los espacios públicos. No importa de dónde venimos, a quiénes amamos o cómo nos vemos, los beliceños merecemos una vida plena. Es hora de leyes que nos protejan a todos y reflejen nuestra sociedad en su mejor momento. Ley de Igualdad de Oportunidades. Belice, estamos listos.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make your purchase. There will also be a bike rally throughout the streets of Belize City, Blue Creek, and Spanish Lookout on February 8th, 15th, and 22nd respectively. All participants will get free oil change. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Love your Honda. It's all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February, only at Banquet Equipment Parts Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
This is my first time here.
Hopefully it's my last.
My dear friends, here we are, all in our true colors. It has papers, your key to the Mvule Kingdom.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I know.
Here are your clippers. Clippers.
Who's in? We are prefects. We run this place. So let's act like it.
Solomon, the head prefect, quick. Is my collar straight?
We'll be out of Mvule High before you can pronounce the word scholarship.
We have a mystery to solve.
The only way we can make a difference is if we stick together.
When I'm head prefect, each and every student will have a voice.
You need to show that news quick, Mvule.
I hate this school! Freedom to grow. Athletes and everyday folk who use the Marion Jones Sporting Complex for training or exercise have had to share space with crocodiles and navigate through overgrown mangroves. But that might change soon. Cyclist Colville Mario has been raising the alarm for weeks, urging for the mangroves to be trimmed for public safety. He reported sightings of crocodiles, snakes, and raccoons emerging from the dense vegetation. However, clearing the mangroves isn't a simple task. Tonight, there's good news for Mario and everyone else. The Forestry Department has given the green light to alter the mangroves. News 5's Paul Lopez has the full report.
Every day you can spot people of all ages making their laps, whether on foot or bike, at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex. However, a growing safety concern has emerged recently. The tall mangroves have created a blind spot along the track, making an area that was once visible from anywhere in the stadium now barely noticeable, even from the highest bleachers. Here's what one evening runner had to say about it.
Outside track that I work with, it's okay, except by the bush. After the bush, those mangroves and things is too high for me. When it gets dark, I don't want to do any more exercise, and I want to stay out and do like a whole hour or so in exercise instead of half an hour.
What's the major concern for you there?
No,
is it safety?
The safety, yes, because of I heard about crocodile and snakes and raccoons, and I'm afraid of those.
This young athlete shared similar sentiments.
So far since I come back, the bush isn't even cut because the bush is never this, tall. And then you have a leaf and 2 hole in the trail track when you fix. But apart from that, it's a good environment,
And do you feel safe that evening or that night with the bushes so high? Nobody can see you?
No, I don't. And I not really stay outside this late. I just stay outside this late because my sister have,
Cyclist Colville Maria shares these concerns. For weeks, he's been navigating the bureaucratic maze to get the necessary approval to trim the mangroves and make the track safer. He's also eager to revive cycling events at the stadium. However, since mangroves are protected in Belize, it's not as simple as just bringing in landscaping equipment to clear the area.
One evening I came out here and I saw a raccoon, a huge raccoon and a huge snake. And then I realized the mangrove on this side is way too high, that the people in the bleachers couldn't see me. And if anything should happen, not only to me, but anybody that's walking around, that you might have a problem. Or anybody could be hiding in the bush to attack a female. So that was one of my main concerns, to try and get the place cleaned up and see if we could have more sports in the stadium than on the streets.
When we caught up with Maria in late January, he shared his frustrations. He had approached the National Sports Council but hit a dead end. On the 3rd, he turned to the Belize Cycling Federation, which pledged to fund the initiative. The Belize Central Prison even agreed to provide the labor. However, clearing mangroves isn't straightforward. It requires approval from the Forest Department. So we reached out to Wilbur Sabido, the Chief Forest Officer, for more information.
It is a requirement by law under the mangrove regulations, which was revised in 2018, for anyone who is interested in, one, altering mangroves, which essentially means cutting down mangroves in layman's speak, or two, to trim mangroves, which is essentially cutting the branches off of any of the 3 mangrove species, the red, the black, and the white. Once the applicant is successful and receives their permit, like I said, they can go ahead with either the alteration or the trimming.
News 5 confirmed that an application was submitted to the department following Maria's persistent outcry for something to be done. And today, Sabido gave us the good news.
What I am seeing is that there are patches of mangroves all along the track, the interior track, I think it is, and they want to do trimming and even altering of the mangroves so that it, for aesthetics, but also for safety. I know that there was an incident with crocodiles being seen in the area simply because of the condition of the area. And we did our inspections, and like I said, we found that there are patches of mangroves, and we asked for the administrators to submit an application, which we received last week. And based on the recommendations from our site assessment, it is something that we can proceed with so that it serves in this instance for a public good.
Sabido also mentioned that there are plans to relocate the crocodiles currently residing on the grounds. However, he pointed out that the stadium's fence needs an upgrade to prevent these reptiles from getting in again.
It's either one or the other. Where there's reptiles and things like that, and we got to separate ourselves, because you could never tell when something is going to happen or when an earth outburst is going to happen, right? And the main factor is, Paul, that you can't see if there's something happening on the other side. We can't tell what's happening.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Up next, athletes dominate during Atlib Track and Field Championship.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México, ahora pueden ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal. Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno. Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. At the V, you'll find a vast array of products at unbeatable prices, from basic groceries and cutting-edge electronics to home essentials and, yes, stunning furniture as well. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at The V, conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez, and tonight we kick things off with highlights from the 2025 At-Lib Track and Field Championship. The event saw fierce competition from athletes representing 5 tertiary institutions: Galen University, University of Belize, SJCJC, Wesley Junior College, and Independence Junior College. The day started with an exciting 3-kilometer race for the female athletes, setting the tone for a day full of thrilling performances. Roxy Lemos, sporting bright orange shorts for Gillen University, took off with determination. Hot on her heels were Alicia Rash and Huzaira Cho from the University of Belize. As the race progressed with 5.5 laps down and 2 to go, Rash and Lemos managed to lap Cho. Heading into the final lap, Rash was in the lead with Lemos right behind her. In a thrilling finish, Rash kicked it up a notch and crossed the finish line 15 seconds ahead of Lemos, clocking in at 13 minutes and 27 seconds.
My strategy here is just like to keep up with the first runner and then to save more energy in myself. And then on the last 2 laps, just, use the energy that you have saved up for.
Next up was the men's 5-kilometer race. 3 determined runners took their positions at the starting line. Kaden Flowers and Wilmer Cal from the University of Belize and Neptali Balam from Galen. Balam struggled early on and was lapped a few times by Flowers and Cal. As the race neared its end, Flowers dug deep and unleashed a final burst of energy, breaking away from the pack. He crossed the finish line in first place, showcasing his endurance and determination.
The strategy, everyone has their own strategies. Waiting till the last few laps is the safest because you can finally see where your opponent is at. My colleague is very strong, Wilmer Call. I just came out, push, and see what my best capabilities are.
Flowers crossed the finish line with a time of 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Now let's move on to the thrilling female 100-meter sprint. Despite only 6 runners signing up, the race was split into 2 heats due to the track's condition. Only 5 of the 8 lanes were usable, with the others deteriorating over the past year. In the first heat, Jade Sanker sprinted to victory with a time of 14.66 seconds. The second heat featured crowd favorites Kendall Morgan and Nyasha Harris in an exciting face-off. Nyasha ultimately claimed the gold medal, finishing with an impressive 12.50 seconds. Morgan secured second place.
My mindset is well confident. I know that I'm supposed to run the race extremely good. I'm practicing weekends and during the week with my coach, Mr. Evans and Ms. Carr. And
then came the male 100-meter sprint. This one was executed in a similar fashion, 2 heats with the winner being determined based on finish time. Donovan Greenwich from UB took the first heat with a time of 11.21 seconds. He was followed closely by Dante Green from IJC with 12.3 seconds. But the gold medalist came from the second heat. Of the 4 runners, Gary Neal executed an exceptional sprint and finished well ahead of his opponents with a time of 11.9 seconds, securing the gold medal.
Ever since a toddler, I've naturally have that passion for running, sprinting.
Okay, so your parents had a hard time with you?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I used to run away to the roadside sometimes when I do something, wicked, but yeah,
The male and female shot put competitions took place just across from the running track. Each male competitor had 3 attempts to throw the shot. And in the end, it was Steven Sylvester who clinched the goal with the farthest throw.
The wind feels really great. I come out here expecting a top 3 and up with the goal, right? So I have to thank God because God comes first, right? Without God, I never made there, so.
And finally, from the track and field championship, the 400-meter women's race saw an all-out sprint to the finish line between Leanne Segura, Kendall Morgan, and Ashanti Carr. From the last place position, Segura overtook her opponents at the last second to win gold.
If I'm being honest, I was counting myself out, but when we hit the 200-meter mark and I realized that the gap wasn't that big, I took it up a notch.
How do you feel when you accomplish something like that, where you go from dead last to winning a race?
I still process it. In a real.
And finally, to wrap up tonight's coverage, it wasn't all doom and gloom at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex on Friday night. The first semi-final match saw Tutbay wearing their blue jerseys, taking on Lake Independence in white. Tutbay dominated the game, scoring 4 goals to Lake Eyes 2. With this victory, Tutbay was set to face the winner of the match between Reggae Boys and Survivors FC in the finals. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.